Hello dear singers, we are back with another video, and the theme of today's video is stop singing with your mouth. Don't be mouth singers. Now, what do I mean by this? If you are diving into the vocal technique of classical music, opera singing, and if you're interested in exploring and developing a vocal technique based on classical singing principles and basic foundations, you must understand this principle. So what do I mean by don't be mouth singers? Well, simply enough, we do not sing with our mouths. The mouth in general has a very little to no function in vocal phonation for classical singing and opera. So why is this a difficult concept to understand, especially if you are in your beginning stages of vocal development? Well, it's because from the moment we are born, we are exposed and we have a general understanding that vocal phonation must be done like this, right? This is my mouth. I speak like this. Hello, my name is Jose Cimerilla Romero. How are you? Hi, yes. We speak in this position. 90% of all musical genres and styles also sing in this position. Pop, rock, musical theater, belting. Hey, It's always this. We are exposed to this function. I would say that opera, along with very, very few other types of styles and genre, is the only thing I have come across that does not use this function. Actually, I would say this is detrimental to the classical and opera singing technique. Because when we sing opera, we do not want this. We want this. We do not sing with our mouths, we sing with our larynx. So if you've seen my previous videos, I talk about, imagine that you have an invisible ball. Get into the tilt position, the open throat position. This is the posture that is optimal for getting the chords in the correct posture to be able to stretch and thin and maintain adduction while singing. But it can't be done if you are starting or initiating your sound like this. You have to dig deep. Ah! Oh! It's deep, it's clavicular. This is the first thing you should be learning. Step one, in everything you do, you need to get into the open throat position. Everything that I mentioned in my video, the snarl, the stretching and thinning of the chords, feeling the trajectory occipitally, the extension diagonally, the idea of a gentle phonation, developing a head dominant sound, thinking tall and high, all of it is useless if you do not understand this basic principle. We do not sing with the mouth. The vowels are not formulated in the mouth. They are formulated and created in the pharynx. So, funny enough, the only thing that gets somewhat close to the correct sensation of singing operatically, of singing with your larynx instead of singing with your mouth, that every human being can do without years and years of training to be an opera singer, is yawning. Nobody yawns like this. I can assure you that in the entire history of humankind, nobody has ever yawned like this. Ah! No, we yawn like this. We are in this position. We are opening the instrument, and the instrument is not your mouth. The instrument is here. You're opening the back. Think that you have not a trumpet, but a backwards trumpet. That's why the yawn has been used to teach this idea of opening the throat, getting into the tilt. But it has to be done correctly and with guidance, okay? Because the yawn isn't the answer to everything, okay? The yawn can teach you some correct things, but it also has some incorrect things. For example, the yawn can get you into a tilt, can get you in somewhat in this position, but it induces a looseness of the chords, and that's why the sound is breathy. This is a great development tool, but in the end, we should be striving for the correct open throat posture, but with adduction, not with looseness. It's not singing. That's going to be more close to what we want, but that is juggling a lot of things at the same time. And I've already made a video about the importance of isolating concepts. So, isolate the concept of not singing with your mouth. No, with your larynx. How do you do that? Okay, well, we can start at home. You can start to play around with the sounds and experimenting with the idea of the yawn. The yawn has the correct trajectory. Right? We yawn from up to down. Nobody has ever really yawned down to up. Nobody yawns like that. But when we vocalize, we tend to want to vocalize from bottom up. So reverse the trajectory. If we're yawning like this, reverse it now when you vocalize. And start to connect mind and body and understand what is happening as I ascend. I should not be ascending this way. That's going to take me out of the posture. I made a whole video about not singing or thinking that your high notes are up. All your notes, low notes, high notes, that should be something you eliminate from your vocabulary. There's no low notes, there's no high notes. Everything lives here in the larynx in one plane. Your low notes, your high notes, they're all here. Continue to find this sense of trajectory as you ascend. So you don't go, Continue to open, open, open. So if you have a basic water bottle like this, take out the cap and put it here. Relax your jaw into it, relax your tongue. These things should be numb. The jaw has no purpose in singing, okay? It should be as if you are a dummy. Relaxed and numb. It shouldn't be grabbed or tense. It should be quite flexible and loose. If anything, the jaw can be slightly, not clenched, but relaxed and inwards. The mouth as well, round, like a trumpet, or like you're kissing someone, or like a fish. Put the bottle cap right here. You don't have to bite it, as that will cause jaw tension. Lightly, lightly. If you don't have a bottle cap, you can use a pen or a pencil. If you don't have a pen or a pencil or a bottle cap, you can use your thumb, put it in the side of your teeth or in the front of your teeth. Same mouth position. And if you don't have a thumb, you can also use your hand and just bring your cheeks like this, very small, as if your mouth is very, very round. Almost like, this is literally like a blowfish. So what's the point of having a bottle cap here, or a pen, your thumb, or holding your mouth like that? Because even though the mouth is small and the mouth is gathered, That does not mean that the back space should also be small. It's the opposite. It's like a seesaw. If the mouth is small, then the back can really truly be open. But if the mouth is open and wide, then it closes the back of the throat. It closes your larynx. And we do not sing with our mouth, we sing with our larynx. So we want to keep the mouth gathered, round, and extremely open in the back. Okay, so even though this is closed, this is very open. Wise words from Maestro Salvatore Fisichella, who quoted the ancient romantic French school of singing, which said, petite bouche, grande voix. Grande bouche, petite voix. Translates to small mouth, big voice. Big mouth, small voice. The vowels, the resonance, all that comes from the larynx, guys. There is no placement of the sound. As I have said before, true singing in La Maschera comes from opening the throat and then allowing things to happen. Allowing, do not manipulate, do not force, do not tense. If you open the throat, you now have access to the chambers of resonance, and the sound will go there by itself. You do not need to place. As soon as you are thinking placement, you will grab, you will constrict, you will muscularly try to bring your voice to a specific place, and it's all nonsense. You cannot scientifically, anatomically, physically bring sound and place it somewhere else, because the sound originates here in the vocal cords, and that is it. So all this is nonsense if you don't open the throat. First, learn to open the throat. Then you can play around with the height, the snarl that I talk about, feeling of depth, tallness, height, but you have to open the throat. You can't just go towards that. For many of you, you will probably end up switching to falsetto. And for those that don't switch to falsetto, you'll end up shouting, yelling, forcing sound. It'll feel very restricted and small. So grab your bottle cap, your pen, your thumb, or have your cheek like this, like Bergonzi. Look at the great Italian tenor Bergonzi. Look at his mouth. It's exactly what I'm trying to show you with this. Open the throat. Even though the mouth is small, we are very open in the back. And vocalize. 5-note scale. Okay, open the throat. Pen. Okay, thumb. Okay, mouth. Okay, you could even do this humming, meaning you don't need the mouth open at all to maintain an open throat position and start to phonate with your larynx. Not this. Larynx, open. This is job number 1 of the singer. Maintain this posture. This is the open throat. This is the tilt. Open and maintain, and then don't do anything. Allow things to happen. Take the leap of faith. I know it's difficult, especially if you're starting out, because especially as men, you know, all male voices, as we start to learn language and speaking, we start this. We do this always. And the modern music that we listen on the radio, it's all this, okay? There is very little of this happening anymore in the world, other than a yawn. So take the leap of faith, open the throat, and allow things to happen. Maintain that sense of elasticity, gentleness. Don't get rigid just because your mouth is closed or gathered. in a very trumpet-like manner. Don't get rigid. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh. Okay, now for the passaggio, especially for tenors, but if you're a bass or a baritone, you can try this too in your respective passaggios, okay? I have always said passaggio is not something you do, it's something you allow. The turn, the cover, giro, is something you allow, okay? Look. E, F, F sharp, G. I don't know if you were able to hear that, how the voice turned by itself. I did not do anything. I did not induce anything. There is such a thing as forcing a cover. It's a muscular force. It's a muscular cover. It's a fake knurdle. You might have heard it as the word knurdle. No, that's a fake. Stay open in this wonderful cavity of acoustic space you have now created, this dome of space. Keep the tongue forward, the back lifted. Okay, so that you don't swallow the larynx, or you're not tempted to compress the larynx with the back of the tongue. Okay, and in that wonderful space, which you could describe it as dark, in quality, you want to sing a very tall, bright, pure vowel. If you are singing dark vowels in a dark space, well, now you're just singing dark on dark, and you're falling into the temptation of ingolato, artificially dark singing. Oh, that's all fake, that's dark, that's not my voice. I want to perceive the vowel as something bright, tall, pure. A, E. I have a video about SpongeBob and Patrick for those that know those cartoons. Yes, it's goofy, but the idea is correct. SpongeBob, right? Very bright, high laryngeal vowel. A, E, E. That's how bright we want the vowel. The vowel. But the position, this, very much like Patrick. Okay? Can you do both at the same time? And start to bridge the gap where you are singing like this, but still getting the singer's formen, the squillo, the brightness, the resonance, but it originates all in the larynx, okay? Clavicular, touch your clavicle. The sound should feel like it's emanating from here. As you are ascending, you should be thinking low, as if you're singing the bottom octave. So if you're trying to sing the higher register of the tenor, let's say for example, a high B flat, right? Those are the notes. As you are ascending that fifth, you should be thinking, instead of going up, no, think as if you are singing the bottom. That same sensation, have it as you're singing the higher octave. Open the larynx. Yes? Going back to the passaggio. Listen to how the voice turns naturally if I just maintain an open throat posture, opening of the larynx. You see how the sound if you allow it, if you take that leap of faith to just allow it to be and go where it wants to go, it will turn, it will cover by itself. It's not this. Right? Which many of you at home have been asking me, because that's the result you get. Or you do this. You flip to falsetto. No, 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 no. I'm singing from my larynx now. Allow the sound to spin, 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 and be free and elastic, gentle. All that here in the larynx, not here. Allow it, allow it, allow it, allow it, allow it, allow it to spin, 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 and be free. But here. It's back. For many of you, this will feel like you're singing almost falling into the pharyngeal space. That would be correct. Feeling as if you're singing with the back of your neck. Sure, that's correct as well. It might sound woofy at first, and that's fine because you need to explore that extreme, right? Of course, and this needs to be said, every male singer, tenor, baritone, bass, should be starting out their first year of vocal development with head dominant sounds. Even when you're doing an exercise like this, isolated, just say, this is an exercise just for me to get comfortable and explore and feel what it's like to sing with my larynx instead of my mouth, and what it's like to be in an open throat position and maintain an open throat position. So, head dominant sounds. Now, why do I say this? There is a massive misconception of confused and troubled individuals who will preach to you of Milwaukee method and how a singer should be this bundle of muscle, testosterone, and if you do not sing with full chest voice, you are a pansy, you're not a man. A true man sings with their chest voice all the way up. That's nonsense. It's been proven over and over again that's nonsense. And it's not what Milwaukee taught. Look at Franco Corelli, Mario del Monaco, Gianfranco Cecele, all these great singers that those people idolize, they all use head voice. Because it is impossible to sing and ascend in your range unless your vocal cords stretch and thin. And this stretching and thinning of the cords will induce head voice if you're maintaining the open throat a fondo technique that Milwaukee taught, the a fondo open throat position, which is what we're talking about here, singing with your larynx. You open the throat, soft palate rises slightly, there's a gap of space between the back of the tongue and the palate, and the larynx lowers as a result. So, why do I say that the first year of any male singer should be head dominant sounds? Because as men, we naturally have a pretty well developed thyroid arytenoid muscle. This is the muscle we speak in. This is the chest voice. Although we do it in a high laryngeal position, we're constantly speaking like this. Hi, how are you? My name's Jose. If you're a bass, hey, how are you? My name is so-and-so. And hi, how are you? Yeah, we're here. We're always here. Okay, we're in this position and we have it developed. Nobody speaks like this. Hi, my name is Jose. Hey. Nobody speaks like that. We speak down here and with our engaged thyroarytenoid. In other words, we don't have a lot of experience in our day-to-day life in which we are stretching and thinning the cords to the max, as when we do or sing with falsetto or head voice. But, and this is a very critical part of head dominant training. You must do it with the open throat. You must do it like this. If you're training your voice in a high laryngeal position, that's not going to do anything. That's not really teaching you anything. Sure, you're singing in falsetto, but it's not the correct posture. You should be opening the throat and developing the falsetto sound, especially if you're a singer, a male singer who has problems with tension. It seems like they can't let go. Lots of grunting. You should start to do that with the a fondo, open throat position. Your first year should be this. Should be constantly inducing this vocal cord stretch. Even if the cords are loose, which they will be. In falsetto, the vocal cords are stretching, but they're loose. That's why you have a breathy sound. And that's why it's weak. It's not a resonant sound. And that's also why you run out of air faster when singing in falsetto or in a breathy tone, because a lot of air is flowing through those loose open cords. Okay? But it's fine for now. For now, if you're developing the voice and it's your first couple of years training and you're just trying to understand the open throat position while exercising your head dominant sounds and developing a head dominant voice. So in these exercises, you could also still do this, eh? You see how that's breathy? Okay, I'm no longer adducting the cords, but I'm still maintaining this posture, which is what this video is about. Not this, but this. Okay? So you can still do it. But continue this trajectory. Do not close. Do not go from here to here or from here to here. No. No. Keep it here. Keep it open. Sing with your larynx. Allow the stretch to happen while searching for depth, deepness. Everything else needs to be allowed. Relax in that position. You should be vocalizing like this all the time. That's an adducted sound, okay? It's just as an example. Open. Open sound with an open throat position. Already started to turn. Already started to turn. Around F, F sharp. You see how it does it by itself. Okay? Maintain this position as you continue to ascend. Do not place, do not shove sound, do not bring the larynx up, do not close the instrument. The larynx, if you see it, if you see a picture of it, if you see a video of it through an MRI or whatever, it's a tube, it's a valve, it looks like a flute. Do not constrict the tube, keep it open, okay? Don't choke yourselves, because you're thinking this direction or you're thinking this. Maintain this position and you will be in a better spot to stretch and thin the vocal cords. Capiche? Got it? Vocalize with your bottle cap, with your pen, with your thumb. You need to be like a ventriloquist. A ventriloquist is those people that can speak with the puppets, but they don't move their mouths because they're so good at separating what is happening here with what is happening here. You need to separate these concepts. You should be able to sing in one posture, the open throat posture. And then all your vowels are sung through that posture. And you see this all the time, even with professional singers, huh? And they do some weird thing like that. You know, especially the closed vowels, A and E, tend to make singers want to come out of that posture. But you need to train yourself to stay, maintain, so that all the vowels are homogeneous and they're all built in this position. Not no, those are 6 different positions. No. All in the throat. Eh? Formulate them here in the pharynx. No. All the vowels must be sung through the open tube, the open valve, the open throat. Ho, hey, hey, ho, ho. Ho, hey, hey, ho, ho. And everything will be much more homogeneous, will be one position, okay? Once you get to that level in which you're now adducting, you're on the appoggio, and you're maintaining an open throat, of course. But even as you are practicing your head dominant sounds, practice with all the vowels. Keep everything in the same position, eh? Don't go, no. All in the same posture. Sing like this, not like this. Yeah? As you start to implement adduction in the sound, which means going from this to this, adduction, in which your chords are now coming together more firmly, more clearly, okay? You're still inducing and allowing a stretch to happen, but the chords are no longer separate or loose. They're now together as the stretch is happening, okay? Adduction. Then you're gonna start to be able to get more into the appoggio. You're gonna finally be able to, as I talked about in my latest video, feeling of valsalva, okay? That feeling of valsalva, that lean, that lean, right? That feeling of the epigastric region, this region right here, protruding, and the hypogastric region below your belly button, almost tucking in, the belly tuck, right? This sort of feeling as you sing. That's the feeling we get when we do the valsalva. However, when we sing, we don't do valsalva. We don't go to the extreme of completely stopping the glottis or shutting the glottis, closing our vocal cords completely as if we're holding our air in. But it's good if you understand that extreme, so that when you sing and you do open up the chords, okay, and you allow air to go through them, you start to feel an element of support here, as if you are now singing from your sternum. It no longer even feels that you're singing with this. Actually, I would even argue if you feel like you're singing with this, you're forcing, you're pushing. It feels like you're singing from your sternum. And you keep this open. All right, keep your bottle cap. Okay? And you have become a air cannon of sound. Okay? This is a pressure valve. You now have a PSI, and you need to increase the PSI to increase resonance. Okay? While maintaining this in this posture, not this. No. Shouting, yelling, screaming. No. Same trajectory as the yawn. I am so tired. Yeah, same idea. I hope this is now finally making sense for many of you, especially those of you who also misquote me and misinterpret what I say. You must have an open throat position. And as you ascend, continue to strive towards the idea of associating your singing with something pleasurable, with something that gives you a sense of sighing or a sense of moaning, to continue an elastic stretch and thinning process for the vocal cords, so that you're not, no. Remember, we scream out of pain. We moan out of pleasure. So as you are striving for this, and as you are feeling that appoggio, remember that the sound, keep it elastic, keep it mournful, gentle, so that you find this sense of elasticity. So that we are feeling like a stretch is happening. A stretch in the chords, a stretch as we open up here, and this stays elastic, buoyant. Everything about the voice is very buoyant, if you haven't noticed. Buoyant, elastic, stretchable, okay? So that's all for today. I really hope that this has cleared up some common misconceptions and has helped some of you. As I always say, if you disagree with me, no one is forcing you to do these things. I always wish the best of luck with everyone's vocal development. If I have been able to help some of you, as I always say, that's the whole point of this channel and the whole point of my content. I upload all these videos freely to the public to be able to share a little bit of my experiences, my knowledge, based on having a full-time international operatic career, not just sitting at home. If this has been helpful to you, click the like, subscribe to the channel, become a CTS member, as there are special benefits to it, and it also helps me to continue to pour out content like this to you guys. And like always, continue working. Have fun. Enjoy the process. This is a very easy art form and process to get frustrated with, highly critical, and then many people quit. We don't want that. Keep the process fun. Experiment with your sound, with your instrument. Do so in a healthy manner. And like always, the work continues. See you guys next time. Ciao, ciao for now.